It's how can we be fully vested in what we desire, yet be non-attached to our results? It's a 100% belief in that thing that I desire, that it's already on its way. My joy, my happiness, my existence depends on that thing. I am super excited to be talking today about specifically detachment, the art of non-attachment when we talk about manifestation, because that's truly the key and it's so misunderstood. What does detachment mean? It's how can we be fully vested in what we desire, yet be non-attached to our results? And it almost seems counterintuitive, and really life is a paradox, right? But what does that mean? What is that dance between commitment, fully vested, fully persistent, fully committed to what you desire, yet stay unattached to results? Because it's that law of detachment that's going to bring things closer. When we're hoarding it, when we're desiring it so much, we've got our claws in it, that's what pushes it away. So I want to talk briefly about what it is and what it isn't, what detachment is and what detachment isn't. So pull out your notes. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information and I'll be opening up to questions. So please prepare your questions and your live coaching. I'm here to coach you. So what detachment, what keeps us attached? Now, the law of detachment is not effort. That's number one. It's that effort, that pushing, that working on it, that I have to make it happen. Even when we talk about the effort around those spiritual practices in order to manifest, that effort in itself means I'm attached. And so the law of detachment means, we're letting go of effort. We're letting go of the work around it. We're letting go of having to make something happen, even if it's on a spiritual place. What it is, and detachment is really about that level of trust and level of letting go and level of knowingness that it's already done. It's a 100% belief in that thing that I desire, that it's already on its way. If I believe it's on its way, I'm not anxious around it. I'm not stressed around it. I'm not trying to make it happen. I order things from Amazon all the time. And yes, I'll open the door. Yes, I'll check my email. Yes, I'll look at the tracking because I'm excited about it, but I'm not doing it because I'm anxious about it. I'm not doing it because I want to make sure it's still on its way. I'm just like, I can't wait to open up the package because it's something that I really want. So there is that level of it's coming, it's on its way. And even though I might be checking on it, I'm not anxiously attached to it, meaning I'm trying to control it. I'm not out looking for the driver. I'm not out calling Amazon every 20 minutes asking, are you still going to send it to me? Are you sure you're going to send it to me? Did you change your mind? It's that level of belief. It's done. And I can relax. And half the time I forgot that I ordered it. There's a great Simpsons episode that my son and I were joking about where, it's like, oh, you got a package. It's like, wait, did I order something? Right? That's when you're truly detached. You order it and then you kind of forgotten about it. And really, when you look at the things that you've manifested, those easy things, you just kind of, in passing, you're like, I would love to go to that concert. I would love to find someone to go to the concert with. And sure enough, in that week, someone calls and says, hey, I've got extra tickets to this concert. You want to go? Like, how does that happen? Or I'm thinking about something randomly. I'm thinking about a friend, and I wonder what happened to that high school friend. I'd love to catch up with them. And then out of the blue, they send a message or I get a Facebook request from them. How does that happen? That's really the key to detachment, because what happened there? I had a thought. And there was a little bit of joy or positivity around the thought, and the thought just kind of floated out into the universe. And I forgot about it. I didn't think about it. And all of a sudden, the universe brought it back to me. Well, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Because I was not attached to it. I didn't need that for my livelihood. I didn't need to go to concert to make me happy. I didn't require that connection, to that person because this is the person that I need in my life right now. There was no anxiety over I have to have it for a reason. And there were no opposing thoughts to it. So when I said, I'd like to go to that concert, I didn't follow that up with, well, but I'm not worthy, going to the concert, or I don't really like going to concerts, or yeah, but it's going to be such a long night and I'm going to be tired. Or, oh yeah, what are the chances of me going to that concert? It's sold out, right? Those would be opposing thoughts. And what that does is it cancels out that thought that I had initially, which was to manifest that thing that I desired. So when we talk about putting something out into the universe, the reason things don't come back is because we immediately have an opposing thought. We cancel that manifestation because I may say, I want to go to the concert, or let me think of something bigger. I may say, I want to get this dream job. And immediately I get a thought of, yeah, but there's 100 other applicants. Yeah, but why would they choose me? I'm old. Oh, yeah, but what are the chances of me being that lucky to get that job? Right? So immediately I cancel out those thoughts, those positive thoughts that have been out in the universe with opposing thoughts. So what does commitment mean? So when we talk about we don't want to be attached. We know what attachment looks like. Attachment means I have to have it for my livelihood. I have to have it for my joy. I have to have it for me to feel whole. I have to have it to fill a hole in myself. Right? My joy, my happiness, my existence depends on that thing. That's attachment. Whereas commitment is, I want this. I desire this. I would love to have this. How incredible is this? I'm going to send this thought out there. And commitment doesn't mean I'm putting effort to making that happen. I don't start calling everybody, hey, you got concert tickets? I don't start, Googling, 24/7 trying to find concert tickets. I'm committed because my story is I would I would love that dream job. That's a dream job. I'm committed to the story that I deserve that job. I'm committed to the story that I'm ready for this next step. I'm committed to the idea that this is already here. And I'm persistent in that thought. And persistence and commitment doesn't mean I keep reminding myself. If I have to keep reminding myself, yeah, the job is mine, the job is mine, the job is mine, really what I'm doing is trying to override the thought that I don't really think I deserve the job, or that I'm not going to have the job, right? I'm overcompensating because the underlying story is it's not mine. I don't deserve it. There's too much competition. I'm not going to get it. So persistence is persistence in the story. There's no negating. There's no negating what I just put out there. That is so real to me that I've forgotten about it because, again, it is real to me. It's going to happen. I don't have to keep checking on it. And that level of non-attachment and persistence means I'm truly okay. And I hesitate to even share this because I don't want to negate the power of manifestation, because we can absolutely manifest everything we desire. But in that level of non-attachment and commitment and persistence is I'm truly okay if that doesn't come in. I'm not dependent on that thing coming in. I'm not going to die unless that thing comes in. That's attachment. It would be more of, oh yeah, I'm going to get this dream job. And then, it's interesting because I've experienced this lately. I've had some really big manifestations in my life, and it's really sent the point home where when it comes in, it's like there's not a big, like, the heavens are opening up and, there's a massive celebration, it's kind of like, of course, kind of like, of course. Like, I'm pleased and I'm never surprised because I was already expecting it. You know, it's you're happy when that Amazon package comes in, but it's not like, oh my God, I got this, you know, my life is whole now because I got this Amazon package, right? There's just a sense of a peace around it. There's a sense of joy and wholeness. And of course, this came in. That's that level of non-attachment that we want to practice. That's that level of being so vested in what we're creating. And by vested in what we're creating, or that commitment in what we're creating, meaning I have no doubt. I have a belief that's so clear on what I have that's already coming in that I don't have to worry about it. And that commitment is commitment to my belief, commitment to my new story, commitment to the knowingness, the trust, the faith that that thing's already coming in. And again, the opposite would be the effort, the making it happen, the stress around it, the fear that it won't come in, the desire, the need for me to control everything around me so that it does come in. Now, how do we increase our belief? How do we increase our faith? How do we increase the level of persistence or commitment to what we want, that which we want? Sometimes that requires our practice. That requires the affirmations. That requires spending time in our vision. That requires journaling about what we desire. That requires sitting in visualization, hearing, feeling, experiencing, seeing that thing we want. But where most people go wrong is they think the affirmation is what brings that thing in. They think the visualization is what brings that thing in. They think the actual practice is what brings that thing in. And that's not the case. What brings that thing in is our belief. And so when we do affirmations, when we do visualizations, when we sit and meditate and picture ourselves having this thing we want, that's to increase our belief. That's for me. That's not for the universe. The universe isn't like, okay, Trez, you've done, 1,000 affirmations. All right, we'll give it to you. All right, Trez, you've been visualizing twice a day for the last, year. We'll give it to you. It's not like I do this and then the universe rewards me. I do this for me. I do this so that my story becomes so connected to the new story that old story of I don't deserve it, it's not going to happen for me. There's too much competition. That old story isn't as powerful, so it doesn't come in as an opposing thought. It doesn't come in as an opposing idea. It doesn't negate what I want. The reason I do affirmations is so that we'll call it brainwashed. I don't like that word, but I'm going to use it here facetiously. I don't even know if that's the right way, but I'm going to kind of override that old thinking with affirmations so that I believe it. And once I believe it and I stop opposing thoughts, meaning I'm really clear that this is already done, then that thing will be manifested. So people will come to me, and this is what I do, right? I help people who want to create this incredible life for themselves, and they come to me saying, I've done everything. It's not here. And what I do is I look at, okay, where are you not aligned? Where are you having opposing stories? Where are you negating what it is you desire? And that's why we work with coaches, right? Someone from the outside that can see what you're missing, because what you're missing is that misalignment. So people will come to me and say, well, Trez, I've been, working on manifesting this, and I visualize twice a day. I visualize in the morning, I visualize at night. You talk about this all the time, which I do. I talk about the power of visualizing, the power of reading your vision and then closing your eyes and living into your vision. And they'll say, I do that twice a day. It's still not here. Fabulous. You do it twice a day. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. What are you thinking about the other 16 hours of the day that you're awake? Where are your thoughts going the other 16 hours during the day? Are they voting for that thing you desire, or are they pulling you out of that? So we really need to stand guard at the portal of our mind. Pay attention to where your thoughts are. Pay attention to your beliefs. Pay attention to where you're putting your energy. Pay attention to that anxiousness. Because what I also see, another mistake people make is they'll be like, oh, I'm just going to let go and let God. I want that dream home and I'm going to let go and let God. And what they're really saying is they're resigned. They don't want to take responsibility. There's still that sense of anxiousness because the true belief is it's not going to happen. So they're letting go of that desire. That's different from letting go of the attachment. When we let go of the attachment, I know it's already done. I know it's already done because my belief is 100% in that new story, in that new life, in that vision that I've created for myself. When we surrender, which is beautiful. I mean, I teach surrender, but there's a nuance to that. When most people say they're surrendering, what they're really doing is they're resigning. They're like, I don't believe it's going to happen. I can't make it happen. I tried, so I'm just going to let it go. But the underlying belief is it's not for me. It's not for me. So we really want to be cognizant of that dance between detachment and commitment and understand that those aren't opposing things. Those are not in opposition of each other. We can absolutely be committed and persistent in our desire while being detached from the results. Because again, attachment means I'm holding on to something, and that's not how the universe creates. That creates a chokehold. So if we truly want to bring in those things we desire, we have to be fully vested without attached to results, fully committed to those things that we know we deserve, that we know is coming in, that we know is our part of our life that is meant for us. And then we just open up our hands for it and be grateful for every step along the way. So I'd love to open up to any questions, comments around detachment, commitment. Where's that fine line? If you're still having a challenge understanding that, please bring that. Or if you'd like anything you'd like me to coach you on, go ahead and unmute yourself and dive right in.
Hi, Trez. So
Yes.
good to see you.
Hi, Joanne. How are you?
These I can see better. I am in this place in my journey where I talked to you a little bit about this piece of property that I have that I think is all intertwined into my purpose and my mission and what I'm here on earth to do. And it's been real challenging, and so I have a lot of the the attachment to it because that's what my perception is, and I see it as being um, part of that. And yet, every time I go out there, I'll look and see that things aren't done. It's not. There's no forward motion in it. We're just maintaining it. And then I go on a ski trip to Italy and break my knee. And then I'm like, okay, is this like an interruption for me to get committed and all the things that you have talked about today, or what's the purpose of that? And I'm in that, I don't know what the lesson is. And then there's a tension between Craig and I because he sees me not doing anything. So there's a definitely for me to just say, oh, I'm just sitting back and I'm detaching and all that doesn't fly real well with him. So I'm balancing that. So
Yeah.
that's a lot to unpack, I know, but
No,
yeah.
absolutely. I love I love that you said this. So I have a three strikes law, and I don't know if I've shared that here before, but I have this three strikes law. Three things happen in a row, I go back to bed. Now, obviously, like I don't do that literally, but metaphorically, I take a step back. So if I
Yeah.
wake up, you see you had three things that happened to you. Let's just, use a light example. Three things happen. I wake up, I stub my toe, I spill coffee on my shirt, and I go out and there's a flat tire in my car.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wait, is like hold the fort, right? Everything stops at that point, and I have to take a step back and look at my life because the universe is trying to get your attention. So in that respect, yes, we're gonna, it's not about letting go of that dream. That dream is still there.
Right.
That desire is still there. And and so we're not going to let that go, but now you've got to pay attention to yourself because there's something within you that's trying to emerge in order for you to fit that new life that you're creating.
Yes.
Because one of the things that happens when we have a new goal or new vision, or a new dream, is all of a sudden it's blaringly obvious that we're not living in it. And sometimes we can get stuck in that. Like if I go to an open house of my dream home and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is my dream home. I really want to live here." And this is everything that I envisioned and I pictured and the view and the bedrooms are gorgeous. When I come home, it's like obvious that I'm not living in my dream home.
Right.
Now, the danger is coming here to my home and doing a comparison thing and starting to bring my energy down and look at what's missing. I don't have the view of that home. I don't have the bedroom of that home. I don't have the size of that home. I don't have, so I'm starting to focus on what's missing. And what I need, what's required in us sometimes is to see that, but still look at our life and say, okay, what do I need to do? Where do I need to grow? What opportunities are there trying to emerge within me to grow into that vision? Because a vision, a dream is designed to grow you. You have
Right.
to become a different person. You have to become a bigger person. And so the question you want to start to ask yourself is, there's a couple questions. Number one is, what am I not paying attention to? What am
Okay.
I not paying attention to? What am I pretending not to know? What have I been kind of, what is it, shoving under the carpet?
Yeah.
So that's number one is asking ourselves, what am I pretending not to know? What am I not paying attention to? What's trying to get my attention? Number two is what's wanting to emerge from within me?
Okay.
Who do I need to be? What's required of me to grow, to again step into that vision? So if you were to take those two questions, so let's take the first one. What are you not noticing? What have you been not paying attention to? What would you say?
What am I not paying attention to? My body.
Mm-hmm.
That's my health.
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually launching my coaching business,
Mm-hmm.
which I've been going to do for 5 years.
Yes. And that's been one of your biggest dreams. And this sounds like it sidetracked you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's yes.
Yeah. So perhaps what you're pretending not to know is that you put your dream aside for something that seems like you should be doing.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. And what's required of you in order to move forward? What strength, what qualities, what characteristics?
A strong belief in myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Because you've had to stand up to some pretty big energies.
yes.
And that's where your growth opportunity is to be able to voice your thoughts, your concerns, have a stronger voice, and to, I don't want to say demand because there's a little bit of effort and energy there, but to be heard, required to be heard, to be strong.
Right.
So how does that feel?
I think that's exactly it.
Yeah, because both of those are required where you're going, to
I
have that
agree. Yeah.
have that ability to help and serve the people that you want to help and serve, and to be able to create the empire that you want to build and create and have that strength within yourself. That's required. So it's not a negating of your vision, it's still there, but it's like, okay, you want to get to the Olympics? All right, we're going to boot camp.
Yeah.
It's not boot camp, but you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so some people get stuck on the boot camp. Well, why do I have to work so hard? All I wanted to do is get to the Olympics. Well, it doesn't work that way, right? You don't just walk in. That's life. You don't just walk in anywhere. You're required to
Right now, yeah. Right now, that's physical therapy. It's like a boot camp.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But also really taking yourself, making yourself a priority. So they're starting to take care of yourself and take care of your health. And I'll tell you, the knee is all about heart chakra stuff. So I'll invite you to also look at, where is that heartache? And I would even venture to say pushing away the feelings from the heart that manifest in the knee. So where are you kind of pushing away love, or pushing away, that energy? And you might get some answers there.
Okay.
Yeah. Life has a beautiful way of showing us where we need to grow. And I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I've been talking so much about the hero's journey, and this is part of the hero's journey, is that when we go to dream, all of a sudden it's going to be obvious that we're not living our dream.
Right.
And we're also going to have to fight against the dragons of our past. It's like the old
Right.
ones are fighting for their life. And so that is the hero's journey, is it's life pushing us forward. And the journey doesn't start until we say yes to that. Meaning, I'm willing to work on myself, and not work, I don't even like that work on myself, but I'm willing to look at myself. I'm willing to build the muscles to grow. This is an adventure I'm choosing to be on. Versus most people will be like, oh, I give up. That's too hard. Let me just try something easier. Let me just stay in my job. And they say no to the journey, no to the journey. And when they say no, the hero's journey stops. There is no hero's journey. And sometimes, if they're not sometimes, always, because we're all required to grow, if we continue to say no to the call, life will knock us down until we have to do something. And to me, that three strikes is the first, not the first, the third time life is trying to knock us down. I mean, it's tapping on our shoulder, and then it's whispering in our ear, and then it's knocking on our head, and then it gives us a 2x4, right? The three times, and I've ignored the first call, and I've ignored the second. By the third, I've kind of trained myself. Three strikes. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, universe, you don't need to knock me down anymore. I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
And I start listening. I start opening up. I start asking those questions. What am I missing, and what's calling me for greater? Those two
Okay.
questions.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Awesome. Hi, Trez. I'm having a hard time managing my day. My daughter is a toddler now, and she's being a handful. I'm overwhelmed with being a mom and working at the same time, and my outlet has become eating. I can feel that I am gaining weight, but I want to start again. I just don't know how. How can I start again? How can I get back to manifesting and working on my beliefs again? I also have a lot of reading materials I want to dig into, but I have no time or energy. Oh, beautiful. Well, God bless you, because being a parent, oh, that's one of the biggest challenges. And so number one, I would say give yourself grace. This is the hardest, most challenging, and most glorious job you will ever have. And I'll tell you, you have to put yourself first. And for a woman, it's a hard pill to swallow because everyone's always pulling your energy. And so by putting yourself first, it doesn't mean ignore everyone and everything, and especially don't ignore your child to take care of you, but you have to find time to take care of you. And so, and I'll give you an example. There's this test done. This is how important it is. These caps, and it's like electrodes that measure brain waves and brain activity, were put on a mother, a father, and a child in a house. And what they did is they measure the brain waves, like stress levels. And when the woman was stressed, it had an adverse effect on the child. So that when the woman was stressed, it had an adverse reaction on the child. The child became stressed out of nowhere, anxious, upset, became a handful, so to speak. When the man was stressed, it had no reaction, no effect on the child. And so that was a clear indication that a mother's well-being is number one. She has to take care of herself. You have to take care of yourself. Now, balancing parenting and work and all that is a challenge. And part of it is number one, taking care of yourself, finding time for yourself, and also finding that schedule that works for you and your child. And so as much as possible, you want to plan out your day so that you can, again, manage all of the tasks and responsibilities. So that's number two. So number one is take care of yourself. Number two is really look at how your day is going. And number three is ask for help. Have to ask for help. And, there's a lot of things around parenting, and I'll tell you because I was a single mom and I didn't have any family, I didn't have anyone around, and I was working and had to do everything myself. I never really had, barely had never had a babysitter. And what I learned, there were a lot of things I learned, and obviously, you can't go into a full parenting class right now, but let me give you some of the big things that really, I think made a difference for me is your child doesn't need you 100% of the time, but when you're there with them, they need 100% of you. And that's why it's important for you to take care of yourself and give yourself that time and, give yourself what you need so that when you're with your child, it's 100% about them. And even to the point where, he was 4 years old and I'd be doing calls and readings and, coaching and stuff. I would have to tell him, this is mommy time and mommy needs to work. And then as soon as I'm done, it'll be Brandon and mommy time. And I had to keep that promise. So I locked the door. And for the first time, he was banging on the door and I just ignored him. And he learned when mommy says it's mommy time, that's it. And but then as soon as I was done, as soon as I hung up that call, I was out the door. I'm like, and I found my son, and then I was 100% focused on him. And to be honest with you, like he got so much of my 100% attention. He didn't want it all the time because kids don't want us all the time. To the point where with the first day of school, I thought, oh my God, he's so attached to me. Like, how's he going to handle school? And he literally saw kids. He went over there. I'm like, bye, sweetie. He's like, bye, mom. Like, didn't even look back at me. He was so like, in this secure space, knowing that I'm there for him. When they want so much of one person, there's a fear behind that. And so what I would suggest is pour into her for a while to get her so secure. Like with my son, I never believed in the whole like let him cry until, he was 4 years old by the time I let him bang and I was like, hey, I'm not coming out. But he already learned that I stick with my word. Once I say something, I never go back on it. But as an infant, as a toddler, when he was young, I was always there for him. I didn't let him cry himself to sleep. If he needed something, to me, my philosophy is children are dependent on us for a reason, so we need to be there for them. And so, you know, being willing to give them all of their needs makes them feel secure. And it teaches them that this is a trusting world, that this is a trusting universe, that they can get their needs met in the world. And so you might for a little while is just pour into her, is just have her with you all the time. So much like where you're just going to smother her and she's going to be like, okay, mom, I want to go play with my grandma or grandpa or cousins but every time she needs you, be available for a little while. And then as you notice she's getting more secure, then start to set slow boundaries. It's mommy's talking, and as soon as mommy's done, I'll talk to you. And it's what I see in parenting all the time that makes me cringe is mommy's on the phone, child is like, mom, 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 and she's ignoring the child, right? Because she's on the phone, mom, 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 and then finally she's like, what? And that's teaching them, number one, that they have to keep pulling at you.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no
Mhm.
security and there's also no education. Versus the first time, it's mommy's on the phone. As soon as she's done, she'll talk to you. And then let her know and finish the phone. Okay, honey, wait, what do you want? Come here and give me a hug and tell me what you want. And you're fully there for her. And so it's important that she learns boundaries. The thing that when children don't have boundaries, it doesn't make them they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe. And so letting her know, I'm going to talk to you when I'm done, is a boundary. And she feels safe because she knows as soon as you hang up, you're going to talk to her. Versus if you're kind of half ignoring her and then you get mad at her and then, like you're trying to do your work and then you're frustrated, she doesn't feel safe because she doesn't know what she's doing. So
Mhm.
with you working, it might mean taking, I don't know if she's at home with you or you're taking care of her during the day while you're working, but it might mean, taking frequent short breaks. You might have an hour break, during the day. Maybe take 10 minutes every 45 minutes. And then you can work 100% focus 45 minutes and then go find her and, hug her, give her, eat with her, have her your little snack, ask her what she's doing, and then say, okay, mommy's gonna go back and give her a little timer. And then as soon as this rings, I'll come back with you. So making her feel, safe. What I used to leave town, I used to work out of town a lot when my son was young. And I would, this was before, again, he understood the concept of time. And so I would give it, and this, I don't know where I got these from, but there was little stickers of me and Brandon. He was like 2 years old. And I would give him, and I would make a calendar for him. And I would give him the stickers. And I would, like, let's say I was going to be gone for 4 days. I would give him 4 stickers and I would say, every time you wake up, put a sticker on, and then this number of times you wake up, mommy will be home. So he knew, okay, I woke up today, but I got one more day, or I woke up today, but I got 2 more days. So it made him feel safe because I didn't just disappear. And for kids, that's traumatic when all of a sudden, you're on the phone and they think you don't love them anymore, or, and so there's little ways you could make them feel safe, but also set boundaries, and they're happy with boundaries. They're absolutely, you're doing her a favor by giving her boundaries, but she has to feel safe first. Is that helpful? I know that was an earload or earload. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. There's so much to parenting, and it's never going to be 100%. You're going to make mistakes. We're designed to make mistakes. If we were supposed to be perfect, our kids would be born to grandparents. So they're born to parents who are doing it for the first time that are going to screw it up. And so I think the first thing I said, remember, was grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself that space to make mistakes. And I used to joke whenever I screwed up, I would call my best friend. I'm like, I wonder how many therapy sessions he's gonna need to get over this one. because I knew I made a mistake. I probably made him feel bad or probably instill some trauma on him, and then as he got older, when I would say something that I didn't want to say or do something bad as a parent, I'd be like, oh, I'll pay for therapy when you get older. So as an adult, he's Mom, you owe me a lot of therapy. You really messed me up. But I mean, it's just that lightheartedness that really resulted in not messing him up because I gave myself grace for not having a perfect, and he knew I wasn't going to be perfect. It's like, sorry, you're stuck with me. And so I think part of it. That's a big part of it. All right, ladies. Well, lots of love. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for joining us here. If you keep coming, I'll keep coming. So I love doing this. All righty. Bye-bye. Thank
Yep.
you.